What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Monday, September 9th to all of you. Brand new week, and do I ever need a new week? Friday went very poorly for me. Saturday started out nice with the Argos first half. Argos full game, and then college got me bad. All my dogs lost. I've never had a day where every single dog lost with the quantity of plays that I made. It was just absolutely shocking for me in NCAA football. Unbelievable. I never, not one dog hit for me, starting with Ohio +4, Tulane +17.5, Rutgers +19, Western Michigan +16, Cincinnati +16.5, UTSA +25.5, 0-6 on dogs in college football. I did quite well with totals, but still a rough day. And then, man, NFL looked so good at times yesterday and then would just fall apart. The unders, a bad day to be on unders. If I had just been on first half unders, it would have been a spectacular day. It was rough, absolutely rough. But let's start our show, as always, sending love to the Randall family, Matt Randall and son, Briggs. Briggs, we are sending you energy and positivity, and we just want you to get home. Go home, get home. You are recuperating and getting better every day, and we just want you to get back home. So first off, shout out to the Randall family and Big Briggsy. Well, we all just want you guys to get home, get out of the hospital and get home. So sending all the love and strength to you guys. Also, the $50,000 Pick Six contest underway. The 2-unit play on the Ravens. Very, very easy. But other than that, it was a struggle. It was a struggle. I hit with Colts +6.5. Even that, with Vinatieri missing 3 field goals, was a struggle. But $50,000 Pick Six contest is on the way. Jump in and grab it. Jump in and get in it. There you go. There's the link to the $50,000 contest. And then, before we give a what up to all the cappers in the chat, we have an award to give out. The Vegas Gun Award for capping excellence goes to none other than our very own DJ Big Boss. Big Boss goes 6-1 in his college picks that he gave out on Friday. 6-1. Texas A&M, Clemson under 64, cash. Coastal Carolina +7.5, cash. Ole Miss -6, cash. Arkansas Ole Miss under 15.5, cash. LSU -6.5, cash. Hurricanes -5, loss, his only loss. And then Tulsa -7, cash. And there is our Matt Randall right there in the house, man. Just thinking about him constantly, thinking about the family constantly, and big old Briggsy. Oh, look, and Big Boss went 2-4 in his Pick Six, but dominates on the college plays that he was giving out. Very, very, very exciting, and so much love to you, Matt Randall. We just, God, think about you constantly, and just can't wait. And all these experiences, they just add layers to who you are and who your family is, and that bond between your wife and you and Briggsy. I mean, now it becomes stronger than any possible thing in the entire world. Not that it wasn't before, but when you go through these experiences, that bond, that strength just becomes so thick and strong beyond anything that I can possibly comprehend. The strength that you guys and that love for each other. So it's just part of your story and Briggsy's story and Briggsy's toughness, and just adds more character to all of you guys. And I'm so proud of the way you guys have all gone through it, and so proud of the way Briggsy's gone through it. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Red Girl, Jermel Wright, Ron Crawford. I've already copied and pasted Ron Crawford plays. Milwaukee, Chicago, Yankees, Cleveland. I'm interested in the Cubs, even with Bodie at shortstop now with the injuries to Addison and Tobias. AM in the house, cashed out big on Bianca. God, of course I'm not on Bianca in that tournament. I wish I was capping tennis with you guys. Walla Dose, and that's we got Rosie. Rosie's back in action. Nice to see Rosie Jansen. We got Red Girl 2 days away from Red Girl's birthday, so she wants our birthday picks ready. We have to start preparing for Wednesday. Lanil Land in the house. Nicholas Fogg ready to get to work. Jose Contreras is in Vegas right now. I need winners, says Jose Contreras. Love hearing that. Shadow, enjoy your time in Vegas. There's Shadow, our guy Shadow. And that was Carlos Peroge, had Tennessee and came in through the back door of my Redskins. Man, I had the under in that game, and that hurt me. That hurt me very bad. Halsey, 74 in the house. We got Von Polo had an awesome weekend. Start with Minnesota Lynx, money line +160. Great job. There's Top Set saying Ravens were a gift. Man, that Dolphins, 400 bones on the Dolphins. Season total under 5.5. I got 400 bones on the Bills. Season total over 6.5. Feeling good about all those spots. They're serious business. Neo Money. Jamel writes, his majority of the Dolphins roster told their agents seek a trade. They play the Patriots this week. Easy cover again. It's always tricky when the divisional games play, and we just saw that with Washington. But how do you not fade the Dolphins? That number is hilarious already. Carlos Burrows, there's Josh Point in the house. Ron Croft says Clemson, Tennessee, and Miami crushed my pick six. I stayed off of Tennessee. Man, God, the dogs I was on were terrible. Josh Point 6-1 in NFL yesterday. Beautiful start to the season. There's Jaspers in the house saying fade Dolphins every week. And we had no sound with the intro, but we got sound now, right? Everybody good? Everybody good? There's Brian Beasley, Brian Watson, L Boogie in the house, ready to get to work. Comic Ricky, DJ Big Boss, Anthony Mastronardi, Dom Ricci, Mally Mal. The team is together. Be smooth. We got Canadian Capper in the house, Brandon Cummings. Vikings and under cash, USC minus 2.5 cash, LSU minus 5.5 cash, Titans plus 5.5 cash, Green Bay plus 3.5 cash. Brandon Cummings, you're making it look too easy. Pink Eyed Genie in there. There's Tom Marino. Tom says, I'm on the Saints. I got 6. Houston offensive line is bad, even with Tunsil. I don't think they hold up in the dome. Houston secondary has Coles. I'm on the other side, but being on the other side of me is a nice spot to be. But I am on the over. I'm on the over 52. We're going to start with NFL. We're going to get there quickly. Raven in the desert, ready to go. Okay, let's get to work. Nutflush Allen, EJV, Prince of the City. My guys, Black Rogue in the house. Riku Roxas in the Astute Chaos. Eric Jones. We have a great Calvin Davis. Sepp Winster in the house. Great group. Okay, let's get to work. Right now, there's Nutflush Jr. ready to get to work. The whole Nutflush family ready to work. Bookie Lover Q says, sorry, I'm late. Jimmy, being busy counting all this football moolah. Made 700 on both Maryland teams alone. Wow, that's nice to hear. Nutflush says, hopefully was able to. Oh, of course, you capped that so beautifully. The Giants against Dodgers, the over, and the Giants, and I was not on either of them. I went 0-5. In my MLB on Friday, lost the 2 Padres spots, had the Reds with the lead at a plus line, had the White Sox, should have taken the White Sox first 5, but oh God, just awful. But let's start with, oh no, Brian Beasley said Seattle over cost me $13K. Damn, because that looked so good for you when you got that late touchdown. I was on the under and fortunately got that. There's Fat Fist in the house. And Ralph Jefferson, Prince of the City, says, I will have some tennis on the late show. Look forward to that. And let's get to work right now. Let's start with NFL. Let's talk about NFL. Let's start off by showing my ugly early record, but I can fix that tonight. I can fix this tonight. A disappointing start for me in NFL. I thought I was looking very, very, very good, and of course, things fell quickly. Let me just get the NFL here. My tracker. Ravens minus 4.5 was too easy. Washington, Philadelphia under 45, a loss. Tennessee, Cleveland under 45, which was a tail, and I wasn't on it initially and then jumped on it because it was Whale Capper's 2-unit play and I lost there. But that's my fault. I'm not putting the blame on Whale Capper by any source of the imagination. LA Rams, Carolina under 50. I was in great shape and it fell apart late. Cincinnati, Seattle under 44. I was fortunate there. Colts plus 6.5. Fortunate there. Lions minus 2.5. Thought I was going to cash that all game long. Giants, Dallas under 45.5. I'd given up on that, and then I was just about to cash it before that late touchdown came in. So disappointing. 3-5 start, but lots of time to fix this and that. There's Danny Almendarez in the house. Anna Merrick says, crushed it this weekend. Love hearing that. Juan Ruiz. Okay, let's get to work. BT says, anyone have Eagles minus 10 and Chargers minus 6.5? I was suicidal. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, so let's get into this NFL, and we're not going to spend too much time, but we will hear what our very own Teddy covers and how he is handling this spot. But this is what I'm on, and I've made 4 plays, and I did it quite confidently. I took the Texans plus 7 at minus 115, the Saints over 52. I don't care about the way the Saints lost the NFC Championship game. I don't see that as a positive. I don't see that as something that they're going to be hungrier for. I see that as something that could hang on them negatively. That doesn't give me more hope in the Saints that they went out like that. I don't believe in any of that shit. Breeze had great numbers last year, but he struggled to throw the deep ball constantly. A lot of people backing the Saints are hoping that his arm struggles won't be there early in the season. I want to see him throw a 40, 50-yarder before I believe in him. I think Tunsil will make a bigger impact than other people, than Tom Marino thinks. I kind of like this. I like moving Titus Howard over to the right tackle. I think their offensive line is going to be better than any offensive line Deshaun Watson has had. And I'm a big fan of Deshaun Watson. I think he's going to move into that top 6 quarterbacks in the NFL this season, maybe top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL this season. With luck on, that list of who's better than Deshaun Watson is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. I don't think he gets enough credit. I think he's going to be very good. I know the Lamar Miller loss hurts, but Duke Johnson, he can run. Having Carlos Hyde with load management, that'll help him. I think there's going to be points, and there's Gio Mercedes, 5-1 and pick 6. Love seeing that. Brandon Cummings says, I think the Texans losing Clowney puts a lot of pressure on Watt, and I think Ryan Ramczyk sleeps with getting a sack in this game. You know what? I think that the only thing we had out of Clowney was he was a great run defender. He was never the pass. He never was the demon on the pass rush than we expected him to. With all the attention that was paid on JJ, you'd think he would have had 15 sacks every year, and he wasn't doing that. I'm fine with this situation. Von Polo says, hey, Jimmy, how early can I make my picks for the contest? Because I need to get on this Maryland line before it goes up and the Ohio State line. Get on it right now, Von Polo. You can get on it immediately. You can get on it immediately, I believe. Oh, I guess you have to wait for the week to end. That's it. Sorry, I guess you have to wait for the games to end tonight. I imagine that's the case. I will check. Topset says, my dog ate my MLB record. I wish I could say that as well. But instead, I have to say, look at how ugly my record has become. But let's focus on football. Those are my first 2 plays on this morning. Ty Clinton says, I'm on the Texans. I like seeing that, Ty. I'm on it as well. Sorry, just doing a little copying and pasting right here. I'm comfortable. I'm very comfortable with the Texans and the points. I'm comfortable with the over 52. You know, I know that confidence doesn't equate winners, but I'm very comfortable with where I sit here. Here is what I'm on in the late game. I love the timing that I made with the Broncos -1. As soon as Bryant was announced he was going to play for the Raiders, I jumped on the Broncos -1 at -101. I love it. Now, I love that he's gone. I think the circus the Raiders have is going to be on display all year long. I'm also on the under 43. Brian Beasley also on the Texans over. It makes me feel good. Tormino says Saints have a very good edge rush with Jordan and Davenport to test the Texans offensive line. Yeah, we're going to learn a lot about the offensive line. No doubt about that. There's that Fire TV. Alex Ramirez in the house. Back to this Broncos-Raiders spot. Chubb is going to be a monster this year. Chubb's going to be even better than Von Miller. I expect Chubb coming into his second year. These guys, best tandem coming off the edge in the league. I think Cortland Sutton is going to have a huge year. Big body receiver. Emmanuel Sanders, so underrated. Basically, Flacco just doesn't have to mess. If Flacco doesn't mess everything up, if he just simply is a game manager, Broncos will be fine. Vic Fangio, perfect spot to get his first regular season win. I'm on it. The circus is ridiculous with the Raiders. I feel great with where I stand here. With the No says I'm also on that under, Jimmy. Well, that gives me confidence. That Fire says Broncos my max play today. Chris Anatete also on Texans +7. Von Polo says I don't trust Flacco either, but Flacco, when he sees how good his defense is, he knows what he's got to do. Stay out of trouble. Do very little and look for Cortland Sutton because he's a big body receiver. I feel good here. Bookie Lover Q says Ravens and Pats AFC Championship. Anyone think different? Put a stack on it. I got a lot of new low bag cheese. I love it, Bookie Lover Q. I love it. Alice Party saying locked up next week. Cowboys -5, Ravens -12.5, Pats -16.5, KC -9.5. I'm going to try and win that award, Jimmy. Alice Party. I'm going to copy and paste that, but let's not get too overwhelmed. I mean, I know that those teams look very good, but their level of competition is questionable. And I think some of the teams that got the shit kicked out of them, not including the Dolphins, could come back and do some damage here. We'll be talking about it all week. Rico Rokas says, took Denver money line. Don't trust Flacco to lay points. Don Brady said, Flacco, want him to do well. Always a fan of his. I love my spots on this card. I've got 4 of them. 4 of them. Starting the year 3 and 5. Not too worried, but obviously don't like it. Started the year 2 and 3 in the pick 6, but got my 2-unit play, so I'm down 0.37 units. My final play in the pick 6 is this Broncos spot that I got at -1. Sherigan Amatraster says, what at WTF happened to the Falcons? I'm fine with the way the Falcons played week 1. Vikings are a very tough team to play at home, especially early in the season. I like them getting a wake-up call like that. I think those wake-up calls for the Falcons, Steelers, I don't think it hurts a team getting beaten up like that week 1. I think it helps. Big Ragu says, fade Saints week 1. That's what I want to hear. All right, that's my action. There's Adrian Ginekis joining us in the house. Brian Beasley says Flacco is good when he has the defense in the running game. I don't know about good, but he's just got to manage the game and be very simple. Very, very simple with his action. Adrian Ganekis went 5 for 6 yesterday because of the Steelers. Well, great job. Mr. Mississippi Razor made money. Said, I'm definitely not spooked from Houston +7. They have players in the D. I keep saying this, being confident doesn't equate to wins, but I love my Monday card. I've loved it. I expect to be at least 3-1. We'll see how it works out. Noli Note says, how about that Niners defense just not sold on Jimmy G? Jimmy G did not look good. The Niners defense did look good. It's a great start for the Niners. Everyone's got to be happy about that. Prince of the City said, Pats can control AB. They may go undefeated. They're a very strong team. Adrian Ganecka said, Broncos is the best card tonight. Rico Roxa says, Falcons are a sexy pick for people every year, but they haven't been the same since Shanahan left. You're right. They haven't been the same since Shanahan left. He's a spectacular offensive coordinator. But I still think they're capable of turning it on. All right. Pink IG said Texas lost by 7 to Pats only last year. All other losses by less than 4. Watson at quarterback. They're always in the game. We'll be slinging the ball late for the cover. Yeah, I like it. Christopher Smith says everybody on Denver. Very hard to back that circus in Oakland. All right, we got 8 MLB games. Let's get to work right now. And after an 0-5 performance on Friday, my record is just starting to just fall apart at the seams. Rafa, could you put up this embarrassment of a baseball record? Now I'm under 500 as well. 0-5 on Friday. Lost the double up on the Padres. That Padres lineup was a AAA lineup. But, man, so all I needed was an okay start. Because I said Melville will get touched. Now, Melville allowed 2 runs early. But all I needed was an okay start. I got the okay start. Machado goes 0 for 4, 6 men left on base. All I needed was one single from Machado in those high-pressure situations. Everything would have been fine. But, of course, it was not fine. And just falling apart in MLB and embarrassed to put that record up. I have already made one play on the MLB card. I'm on the under 4.5 in the Pirates-Giants. Under 4.5 at -120. Let's see what market moves are there just to get that game out of the way. Because we still have 29 minutes, lots of time for these 8 MLB games before we're joined by Teddy Covers. Start looking at NCAA football, see if he has any looks in NFL and MLB. But let's get right to it now. MLB, and let's get some winners. And my quantity is going down. I just got to slow down. Al Brown, 0-5. Yeah, Al Brown, I was thinking about it too. That fences Machado sucks. Man, it hurt. It hurt. It really, really hurt. I was in a real bad state of affairs all weekend. It was just a rough weekend and being a rough MLB week. And so the quantity of play is going to go down. All right. So let's get to this first off Giants game. Bummy opening up -160, now -161. I would like to back Bummy. I think he can have a nice start after that bad start. But for me, the most appealing play to me was that first half under 4.5. I don't care that it's 16.5 win going out. Wow, money coming in on that. Oh no, that's Cleveland. Sorry. Same as what it was. You can still get them 4.5 -120 at Intertops, Pinnacle, and 5 dimes. So it's staying there. So nothing's changed there with that under 4.5. Let's talk about this and see if we make a move here. And Lamont Williams, max betting Milwaukee. I don't know if I want to make a move on that. Let me copy and paste that. All right, here we go. And copy and paste there. All right, let's also copy and paste our guy, Eric Jones, on Brewers run line as well. A's under 9.5, Yankees under 10, and Cleveland run line. I'm going to copy and paste as well. Look at Don Marici, 18-7-2 last week in MLB. Well, I need just to be listening. Nutflush is working on the Giants game now. Okay, good. I'll wait. But I do think that this will be a 4, even with the weather. The wind in San Francisco doesn't play like other ballparks, so 16 miles per hour out to straightaway center is not. It's a swirling wind there. It doesn't scare me as much. Pirates 31-40 on the road. Giants 30-38 at home. Giants have 7 games now at home, starting with 4 against the Pirates, 3 against the Marlins. They have to make some hay. Nutflush Jr. says, I have a play today for the Late Show. Record 4-1 on plays of the day. Have to go to school. See you this afternoon. Nutflush Jr., we are very excited to hear what your play today is. Have a great day at school. Work hard, and we can't wait to see you on the Late Show. Love that. Okay. Let's keep rolling here. Let's keep rolling along here. Brian Beasley on the Yanks over. Von Polo, New Mexico plus 55.5 was one of my picks for the contest. Nice job. That was also a pick that Al Mack gave out, and I stayed off of it. All right. DJ Big Boss says, fade the Mets. It's a win-win for you. That's from DJ Big Boss talking to Dom. And let's just keep rolling. There's my guy, Matt Randall, in the house. Okay, I got to stay focused here. Got to stay focused. Eddie Euler leaning towards the over 7.5 full game. Back to this Pirates-Giants spot. Pirates rating 244, 673 OPS versus lefties. Giants have very weak numbers against righties. 235, 697 OPS. You know, I just feel like Bumgarner coming off a bad start, getting back home, is going to step up. He has a chance to get them on the right track for this homestand. He's a perfect guy to be throwing. 3-5, 3.22 ERA, 8 career regular season starts against these Pirates. Lost to them in April, 4-1. Williams has looked great in his last 3 starts. 2-0, 2.37 ERAs, 1-0, 1.42 ERA, 3 career starts against the Giants. I'm just going to stick at this point with that spot. Shergan Amatrasu says, fade the Red Sox and Dodgers every game. That's my MLB strategy. That sounds like a very good one, Shergan. That sounds like a very good strategy at this point, especially after Dombrowski being fired. All right, here we go. Going to copy and paste Shergan's strategy. I love that. There's our guy, DJ Big Boss, giving a love to the Matt Randall family. All right, and also you can catch DJ Big Boss on our guy, Donnie Rightside's radio show, DJ Big Boss, climbing up in the game. All right, let's go. Braves-Phillies. Let's break this spot down. Fulton-Avich versus Nola. Going to full game, money lines, and totals here at SBRodds.com. Oh, sorry, that's first half. My fault. Full game. Here we go. Fulton-Avich and the Braves going up against Nola and the Phillies. Nola at home, pretty dangerous. Nola and the Phillies opened up minus 135. They're now minus 129. This total opened up at 9. It's now at 8.5. I expect a nice performance from Fulton-Avich. I really do. Cash Thomas says, Jimmy, a lot of overs killed you yesterday. Me too. They destroyed me yesterday. And if I had just taken first half overs, it would have been a spectacular day. And being afraid of the Chiefs in that spot is very irritating. Prince of the City says, call me when baseball is over. I get that. All right, Fulton-Avich, 5-5, 5.28 ERA, 1.41 whip, 92 innings, 81 Ks, 34 walks, 77 Fahrenheit in Philly, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour, sideways. Nola, 12-4, 3.63 ERA, 1.23 whip, 178 2/3, 200 Ks, 67 walks, 23 home runs. Braves rating 259, 795 OPS versus righties. Phillies have weak numbers against righties, 244, 742 OPS. Phillies and Brewers both 2 games behind the Cubs for that second wild card spot. Now the Diamondbacks just 1.5 behind those Cubbies. Bryce Harper expected to be back in the lineup. After missing 2 games with a sore left hand. Nola 10-3 with a 2.46 ERA, 16 career starts against the Braves. September 4th did not look good. Last start. 5 runs, 4 innings, a loss to the Reds. 6-3, 2.58 ERA in his last 15 starts. This is a red-hot Brave squad. I think Fulton-Avich is going to be playing well. Brian Beasley on the Atlanta Philly under in the first 5. I like that. Also, Jermel Wright liking the Braves. Crit Jungle Boy says Harper back. We don't have confirmation. He's just expected to be back at this point. Fulton-Avich 7-3, 3.14 ERA in 14 career games, 13 starts against the Phillies. Yeah, I like that. I like the first 500. I think that's an okay look. And I'm not afraid of backing the Braves here. Jermel Wright says take the Braves at plus money while you can. I see it becoming even money by start time. Wow, even money by start time. That's a wild, wild call. Let's see what's going on in this first half total right now. First half total is at 5. Open at 5 minus 125. It's still there, but we have seen 4.5s on the board from Bookmaker and Heritage. Do I think 6 runs in the first 5 against these 2 squads? I don't think that's going to happen. I'm getting an under 5 at minus 120. I'll take that. I think this is a very nice performance by these 2 starters. And Shergan says, Jimmy, take my advice lightly. I don't know. No, Shergan, I think that's a nice angle that you have. Let's see. Noli knows Arizona, New York Mets under 7.5, and Cleveland, LA under 8.5. Copy and paste. Noli knows his unders right there. I expect Nola and Fulton-Avich to give us a taste of what we'll see from the playoffs from them, and I expect nice looks from them. So Eddie Olis says Braves-Phillies looks like a 1-run tight game either way. I'm going to take this first 5. I'll jump on this first 5 as well, hoping that they don't get to 6. First 5, under 5. Minus 120. Tom Reach says, I thought the Braves would coast a little. I was wrong. They aren't letting up. That's going to be my only spot right now in the Braves-Phillies game. 77 Fahrenheit, 8 miles per hour, sideways and in. I think this is an okay spot. Brandon Cummings rocking the over with the Braves-Phillies. That scares me. And Let's keep rolling. Diamondbacks, Mets, 74 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, sideways. Diamondbacks 39-35 on the road. Mets 38-29 at home. Merle Kelly 10-13, 4.69 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, coming off a very nice start against the Dodgers. Jacob deGrom 8-8, 2.76 ERA, 1.05 WHIP, 220 Ks in 176 innings. Did not look good in his last start. There's Jose Ruiz, says Jimmy A's dog of the day from Jose Ruiz. Going to copy and paste that. And Dom Ricci agreeing with the under 7.5 in that Mets game. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste that. Not Flush Jr. is so funny. You would have been 5-0. You would have been 5-0. That's so funny. Oh, that's so funny. Loving Not Flush Jr. in the show. Okay, let's focus on this spot here. And already seeing unders being handed out from both our guys, Dom Ricci and our guy, Noli Knows. Both teams lost on Sunday. Diamondbacks still have won 11 of 13. Mets lost that early 3-run lead. Hard to have faith in the Mets. DJ Big Boss saying the under as well. Black Rogue on the Diamondbacks. Eric Jones on the over. Boogie Leverkusen says something wrong with the Mets. Think the pressure is taking a toll. DeGrom, no decision September 3rd. Did not look good against the Nationals. 4 runs over 7. 2-0 with a 1.74 ERA. 3 starts against Arizona. Diamondbacks 5-game winning streak snapped. Kelly earned the win September 3rd. Looked great. Oh, that was against the Padres. Sorry, I said Dodgers. My fault. Against the Padres. 3 hits over 7 scoreless. It looks like he's gotten over that little bump in the road. There's our guy, Angel Romero, back in action. Says European International Champion qualifications, 11:45 Eastern or AM Pacific time. Croatia first half money line -160. Germany first half money line -130. That's from our guy, Angel Romero. Thank you for popping in, Angel Romero. We miss you and love you dearly. All right, let me go and copy and paste that right now. And Don Reed says DeGrom will go 7 today. Let's look at what the market has done with this spot right now. Let's look at what it's. Jamie Jordan in the house says, you sound like the Micro Machine guy's son. Sorry, Jamie Jordan, we have a lot of work to do. And I apologize if it's too fast for you, but I got to get through these games. I only have 19 more minutes before we are joined by our guy, Teddy Covers. Let's take a look at what we're getting full game money lines and totals here for this Diamondbacks Mets spot. That's first half. We're going to full game. Here we go. Opens at 7.5 at -110. There's been a 3-cent move towards the under 7.5. DeGrom and the Mets open at -240. There's been a 20-cent move towards Kelly and these Diamondbacks. Jamel Wright says Mets don't score for DeGrom. DeGrom last 2 starts weren't good. Arizona is hot. I'd lean Arizona run line. Eddie Euler says DeGrom 1.91 ERA since the All-Star break, but not getting the run support as usual. I'm going to stay off this spot right now. I'm going to stay off this spot, but I am definitely noticing who's on the under, and I will keep a look on that. Crash99 says, do you think it's possible the Red Sox firing their president could light a fire under the players' asses tonight? Yeah, definitely. Yes, I definitely think that's a possibility here. I definitely think it's a possibility here. Let's walk into this Yankees-Red Sox game right now. 66 Fahrenheit, cool in Boston tonight. 6 miles per hour. The wind is in, but sideways in. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with. The total opened up at 10. It's already down to 9.5. We've already seen a couple great cappers in the check give out the under on this game. The Red Sox opened up as the favorite at -118 and quickly lost that. Quickly, the Yankees are now favored here. Yankees have gone from +108 at BetOnline, from +108 all the way to -111. So a 19-cent move towards the New York Yankees here. And Don Reed says, talking about that Phillies-Mets series, says that was a telling series for me. They again beat up the better Nats and should have swept these Phillies. The fact they didn't has me off them again, talking about the Phillies-Mets there. All right. Let's keep rolling along. Paxton Rodriguez. Paxton 12-6, 4.16 ERA, 1.33 WHIP. He's looked very good lately. Rodriguez 17-5, 3.81 ERA, 1.36 WHIP himself. Both pitchers have looked very good of late. Yankees 41-28 on the road. Just hit their 268th home run. Now just 7 back to the Twins. I mean, they could eclipse the Twins if they keep hitting the way they're hitting right now. Red Sox 36-38 at home. Unbelievable. Unbelievable to see the World Series champs 36-38 at Fenway. Who would have thunk that without any major injuries to blame it on? Red Sox hitting 258, 793 OPS versus lefties. Yanks smash everybody, especially lefties. 278, 29 OPS. New York's won 2 of the first 3. Boston now is a less than 1% chance, according to Fangraphs, to make the playoffs, and fired Dave Dombrowski. Yankees won 13-18 against the Red Sox this year. Tauchman out, left calf. He's out. He went back to New York for tests, so we'll see what goes on there. Paxton, coming off one of his best outings of the year, struck out 12, gave out 1 hit over 7 against the Rangers. He's coming up right at the right time for these Yankees. He beat Boston by giving up 2 runs, 6 innings, August 2nd. 2-1, 4.50 ERA, 3 starts against the Red Sox this year. Paxton 4-1, 3.32 ERA, and 7 starts lifetime versus the Red Sox. Rodriguez threw 7 shutout innings last out against the Twins. He looked very good. For his career, Rodriguez 16-5 with a 4.03 ERA in 17 games. You know, this makes me uncomfortable. Dat Fence says, since the Red Sox are missing the playoffs and this is the last game versus Yankees, tonight is their last hurrah, I'm putting 1K on the Sox. Ooh, Dat Fence. Not afraid of the market move, making a big boy bet on the Red Sox. That's an interesting look. That is a must copy and paster. Wow. Wow, that is a must copy and paster right there. Shergan Amatrasu says, no, Davfen. Wow, Davfen going for the illustrious Vegas Gun Award for excellence in capping. Brandon Calming said, I wouldn't do that, Davfen. This team is too unpredictable. They're playing a division rival who's dominated this season. They can hit for contact and power. Eddie Euler saying Rodriguez 8-1 at Fenway. Also Paxton 7-0, 2.98 ERA last 7, gearing up for October. And Jose Ruiz says under. Wow. Under. I just can't trust this Red Sox bullpen in an under. I know that we're going to get a nice start from Rodriguez and probably a nice start from Paxton. It's going to be colder than these players like it at 66 Fahrenheit. Maybe I should make it. Oh, God, here I am again on first 5 unders that have just screwed me all year long. But 5.5, are we going to see 6 runs here early? 5.5 open at -118. It's now -115. So money coming into that over 5 in the first 5.5. Let's see what Pinnacle has done on this 5.5 total. This 5.5 opened at -103. It's now -116. Wow, big money coming into this 5.5 under. God, I like it. These pitchers are pitching so well right now. It's going to be cold. The weather's sideways, the wind sideways and coming in. Thank you, Julian Yessin. Thank you for your kind words. But the fact is, I have a job down here right now, and that's, that's where my living is being made. That was the reason for the change. All right, I'm going to make a move here on this first 5 under. There is Mr. Gokster in the house. Love seeing that. Pink IG said, Jimmy, just take Yankees money line, and the under 10 will either push or win both. I'm going just to take this first 5 under. I'm going to take this first 5 under 5.5. First 5 under. Lamont Williams says, don't do it, Jimmy. First 5 is killing us. It's Monday. I'm going to do it. God, I'm going back. I don't want to be scared off. The market's making this big move towards the under, especially Pinnacle. I think Paxton and Rodriguez have a nice start here. I'm going to go with it. I'm getting under 5.5, -110 at Bookmaker. God. Eddie always says, I lean under, but with these Yanks bats, always dangerous. Bookie Lover Q saying, no, stop. Pink Eye Genie says, no more unders. And Raven in the Desert, like in Norfolk State, +22. Okay. Oh, man. How do you not? Everything is saying that this is going to be a low-scoring, well-pitched game. Saber Washington says, just take the Yankees money line. Just take the Yankees money line. All right, we have 12 minutes before we are joined by Teddy Covers, so we got to keep rolling. Let's move into Brewers-Marlins. Look, I understand why everyone's on the Brewers run line, but to me, Jamal, right? I get it. We've all been watching what they've been doing. But Don Regis says the word of the day, under, so I'm going to keep moving. Brewers-Marlins, I know why everyone's on the Brewers. We've seen Lyles pitch so well since he's come over there, 5-1, great ERA. But this just screams letdown spot. It screams it. Are the Brewers going to stay focused because they have a chance to get back in it? Possibly. And there's Matt Randall, early college football value play. Colorado Buffaloes -3.5. Colorado Buffaloes -3.5. Pink Eye Genie says like the 10 instead. I don't like this Red Sox bullpen and just don't want them. And Comic Greek says first 5 unders continue to deserve no action. All right, I get it. And there's Fat Fist MMA says everyone check out Beers, Bets, and Breakdown Show on YouTube. Much love, homies. Audio isn't great, but got new cams and mics on the way. Look forward to see that. Matt Randall gave out Tulsa -6.5 on last Monday's show, and I copied it. I rolled with it, and that was one of my few winners in college football, which we will get to very, very soon. All right, so Fires is next, but right now we're talking about this Brewers-Marlins spot. Brewers looked very good against the Cubs. Won 5 of their last 7 against them, 7 of their last 10 against the Cubs. But now they play this Marlins team, and do they care? That's the question. Do they care? Lyles, 2-1, 5.76 ERA in career against the Marlins. He's not looked good against them. Hasn't faced them in 2019. You know what? This just, to me, screams. It screams letdown spot. And I'm not making a move on Brewers, Marlins, but I've seen a lot of people already on the Brewers. And let's go over this spot. They are opening up -165. There's been a 50-cent move towards them, 47-cent at BetOnline. Let's see what's going on at Pinnacle right now. At Pinnacle, it opened at -1. There's been a 47-cent move to the Brewers. Enjoy. I'm off right now. I'm off that. Drio Marcia says Brewers, Brew Crew roll easy. I'm off of it and very comfortable being off it. It just screams letdown spot to me traveling into Miami. All right, A's, Astros, Fires versus Greinke. Fires 14-3, 3.51 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, 169 innings, 115 Ks, 50 walks. He's been great this year, but doesn't get the strikeouts when he wants to, and he's much better at home at the Coliseum than he is in. Houston's not necessarily the most offensive park in the league, but with that roof closed, we will talk more about it. Brandon Cummings says, I love Syracuse +22 versus Clemson. According to Mark Lawrence, the Orange have covered 4 of their past 5 against the Clemson. Okay, I will copy and paste that, and we will give all of these spots. We will ask all Teddy covers about all of these looks here. I'm going to copy and paste that right there. And love seeing what Matt Randall's on. Mr. Gokster says 23 days until NHL season is upon us. Yes, I'm very, very excited. NHL and then NBA. We need that badly. Christopher Smith says Syracuse blows Brandon. Bookie Lover Q says Brewers Marlins. Marlins swept Brewers. Players taking revenge. That's a good look from Bookie Lover Q. But I'm not going to jump on it after a 45-cent move here. And I still fear a letdown spot against this terrible Marlins squad. But that does change things a bit for sure. Okay, Lyles 6-1 with Milwaukee. I don't know why I have 5-1 here. I have Lyles' record at. Okay, we only have 9 minutes, so we got to move quickly. I have Lyles. What do I have Lyles' record at? I have him 5-1, in 7 starts. 5-1, 2.56 ERA. He had an ERA of 10 in his last 7 starts with the Pirates. Fires Greinke though. This is a spot where I don't trust either pitcher right now. But even that said, I don't know if I want to take the over. This total opened under 9.5, -120. It's now still there, hasn't changed. The Astros opened up at -180. They're now -164. A 6-cent move towards the ski profit in the house. Is that your NBA? Man, I'm excited about that. Brandon Cummings says, Jimmy, what are you drinking? Tea? Coffee, a hot toddy. I got coffee and water here right now. Princess City says drinking JMO on a Monday morning. That's not gonna help the week. I tell you that much. Okay, and Lamont Williams max betting Brewers run line. I do believe I have copied and pasted that, but I'll do that again just in case here. I do believe I copied and pasted that, Lamont. All right, here quickly copy and paste, and here we go. Make sure I've got that. All right, copy and paste her. Okay, let's keep rolling, and we only have 8 minutes. I keep saying the time. Sorry, I'm just trying to stay with this. A's, Astros. The Astros, are now 27-2 at home against divisional rivals. I mean, they're 16-4 over the last 20 games and 27-4 over the last 31 at Minute Maid Park. How do you go against this squad right now? I don't know how you do it. I really don't. Maybe Greinke is enough to scare you off. Greinke took his first loss in 6 starts with the Astros, allowed 4 runs, 8 hits, 4 strikeouts, 6 innings against the Brewers. He's not looked great. 9 earned runs on 14 hits over 11 2/3 innings his last 2 starts. So he's, maybe he's just, I just don't trust him here. Greinke, don't trust him. But 7-2, 2.97 ERA over 17 career appearances against the A's. Limited Oakland a 1-run, 4 hits, 3 walks, 6 Ks on August 18th. That was his 3rd start after he joined the Astros. Fires 12-0, 2.59 ERA over his last 21. Love to hear what Guru Sports Pets is doing with this. Ralph Nunziata says, Jimmy, do you think 49ers should sign Melvin Gordon? No, I don't, Ralph. I don't. I wouldn't be angry if they did, but no, I don't. I like our running back situation moving forward right now. I'm very fine with it. Fires 21-19, 4.59 ERA over parts of 3 seasons with the Astros. 1-2, 5.63 ERA against the Astros. Jamel Stone says Greinke isn't a winner. He hasn't been good for these Astros. They need him if they plan on getting the World Series. Polo this, Polo that says difficult baseball card. And there we go. Matt Randall, Taint play today, Cubs money line. Price is a lot higher than I normally give out for the Taint, but a Cubs win tonight is a must. I like that look. Let's get to that game as soon as possible. Rem Most on Broncos -2 in the under. Rem Most, please go 2-0 tonight. I need it desperately. I'm going to put out my numbers from last week after the show, and it's just been a terrible first week of September. All right, I'm not making a move on this A's Astros at this point. I'm going to take a little time. Oh, we have the barbecue sauce titty play today. Euro qualifiers, Hungary versus Slovakia, a draw at plus 233. A big plus line here. From AM. Did great big plus line here. I'm going to copy and paste that. Mr. Gokster, happy that we're on his Broncos. I like seeing that. Pink Eye Genie says I like the Cubs play, and I like the Cubs play too. We've already talked Pirates, Giants. You guys know I'm the first 5 under 4.5. We have the Indians and Angels to get to. We know that our very own Noli Nose is on the under here, Bieber Sandoval, and we're going to talk about that soon. But let's talk about this Cubs-Padres spot. Hendricks versus Quantrill. Let's look at the market move here. Here we go. The Cubs open at -135. They're now -137. This total was juiced to the over 8.5, now juiced to the under 8.5, but still at 8.5. And Dom Ricci liking, Vikes -4 and Dallas over 44. Yeah, those would have been great looks. And God, I'm disappointed starting out 3-5. There was a time I thought I was going to sweep the morning games at one point, and then everything went away from me. The gas station sushi now says barbecue sauce titties sounds delicious. Shout out to gas station sushi who came that close to cashing that Bengals money line. Great look. Cubs at Padres, 71 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 6 miles per hour, sideways out. We already know Baez out with the broken thumb. Addison Russell now out in concussion protocol. And that means that Bodie's probably going to be playing shortstop. They're also dealing with Chris Bryant with a sore knee. Who knows if he'll be in the lineup? You might want to wait. Hendricks 5-2 at Wrigley this season, but on the road he's been bad. 4-7 with a 1.445 whip. That's double his whip at home. His whip at home is 0.779, but I do expect him to step up in situations just like this. Hendricks 5-2 record, 9 starts against the Padres, 2.98 ERA. At Petco, he's 3-1 with a 3.24 ERA, and Quantrill's been getting destroyed. Eddie always says Quantrill struggled. He's a rookie, maybe running out of gas. I like the Cubs. I like the Cubs here too quite a bit. Let's go first 5 on the Cubbies. Now, the only thing is, do we want to wait? Because if Bryant's not in the lineup, then we're going to get a better number. I really do feel like this might be a spot that I should wait. I feel like if we make a bet saying that Bryant wants another day to rest or to make sure that his knee's okay, then we get a much better line without Bryant in the lineup. And Bodie playing short. Let's see what the expected lineup is right now. I'm going to go to daily lineup, see what the expected lineup right now is for the Cubbies. And it has Bryant batting third, Zobrist at second. At short, it has Nico Horner. So it doesn't have Bodie at short right now. You know what? I expect to get a better look and a better number when this is announced. I really do. Jose Ruiz says that's why it's Taint play today. Cubs wake up no matter who playing. Cubs play better without Bryant, says Black Rogue. And Pink Eye Genie 8-0 on Patriots plays last night. Brilliant. I want the Cubs, but I want to get a look at this lineup, because if this lineup is a mess, then we're going to get a better line. So I'm going to wait, but I'm going to make moves on the Cubs. And then the only other game we haven't talked about is Indians-Angels, 74 Fahrenheit, clear, 7 miles per hour, out to straightaway center. This is another spot where Mike Trout's probably out of the lineup. If you do want the Indians, you should probably take them early, but then you're making the bet that Trout won't be in the lineup. And that's what it looks here. There's been a 9-cent move towards the Indians. That to me is just saying Trout's not going to be in the lineup. And if he's not, then it's a much easier team to pitch against for Bieber, who can probably lock this lineup down. This total opened at 9. It's now at 8.5. When did the 8.5 come? The 8.5 was yesterday at least. Okay. So it opened at 9, and yesterday it moved up to 8.5, and that's where it's been. So since it moved to 8.5, there's just been a 2-cent move towards the under 8.5. Pink Eye Genie says, like that, Jim, wait for the better line. I agree. But Nino says, I love the Padres. That does give me a pause. Brad Hansen and Jungle Boy both on the Indians. Brad Hansen, the Cubs have been bad on the road. Eddie Oz says, I like the Bieber and the Indians quite a bit. Patrick Sandoval has been better, but he's not going deep, and they're worried about his pitch count. I like the Indians in here as well, but this is a spot where I'm going to have to take the Indians, or at least on the first half, at least on the -1 line. Let's see what I'd get on the -1.5 here for the Indians, down to -107. Okay, I'll do that here, and I'll figure out how I'm going to handle it when I bet it. But right now, I'm going to take the Indians on the -1 line here on the road. Indians -1. That gives me a first five. That gives me a money line. Let's get it right now. Money line here on the Indians, a money line of -172. That's at 5 dimes. Money line -172. And then on the -1.5 line, here we go. On the -1.5 line, I am getting -107. That's at 5 dimes. It's much better than the rest of the market at this point. All right, that's my action. I'm going to wait on the. This got the first 504 now. I'm going to wait on this Cubs spot because my expectation is that we don't know if Bryant's going to start this series. We already know that Baez is out and Russell's out. And if Madden puts one of these lineups together, very interesting original lineup that he's capable of this late in the season to get a spark, then I'm going to get a better line on the Padres. And that's sort of how I see this banging out right now. So I'm gonna make moves on the taint play of the day, but I'm not going to make moves yet on the taint play of the day. So that's my MLB card right now. I'm on the first 5 under 5 in Braves-Phillies. I expect Foltynewicz to have a nice start, Nola to have a bounce-back start, at least early, even against the dangerous Braves offense. I'm off Diamondbacks-Mets. I'm on the first 5 under 5.5 Yankees-Red Sox. That's with Paxton Rodriguez, expecting nice starts from both of them, but don't want to take a full game, even though a lot of you are on it, because I still don't have faith in this Red Sox bullpen. I'm off Brewers-Marlins. We've seen this giant market move towards the Brewers, and even though the Marlins sweat them last start and the Brewers need to win to stay in, I fear a letdown spot after that big series against the Cubs that was full of emotion. A's Astros, I'm off at this point, although the only spot I would move would be making a move on the A's, but I don't want to backfires in Houston. And then I'm on the first 5 under 4.5 at -120 in this Pirates-Giants spot. And then Indians on the -1 line. And I'm going to wait and see this Cubs lineup. Because I think it'll be put together in a very interesting way from Madden, and it will scare people off of them and possibly give me a better line. So that's what I'm going to do there. That is my MLB baseball card. And with that, we bring in our guy, Teddy Covers, who joins us every morning all week long. Teddy Covers, I took it right in the bottom mouth in college football. It was a very disappointing week for me. I've never gone 0-6 in dogs before in college football. When I make 5+ dog plays, at least in the 2 years I've been down here, I've never 5+ dogs on my Saturday card. I've never lost them all, and that's exactly what happened to me. I lost them all. Before we bring Teddy Covers into the show and welcome into the show, can we put up my college football record and just see how ugly it became very, very quick? A lot of people had great plays in the chat, and the way I was listening and what I was doing, handling it, was very poor, very disappointing, and just a angry weekend for me. So I hope to bounce back big, and I hope it's Teddy Covers who leads me to that glory. So everyone, welcome to the show. Teddy Covers in the house. Teddy, how are you doing on this Monday morning?
I'm doing pretty good, Jimmy. I had a good weekend. So I'm sorry that you struggled. Let's talk about the game. The one thing we got to do on a Monday, and really you want to do this on Saturday night, you want to re-handicap the games that just happened this past weekend. What did you miss? What did you see properly? What luck went against you? What luck went for you? Would you make the same play again given the same circumstances after the fact? That post-mortem can go a long way towards improving your results down the road. The idea is to get the process right, Jimmy. If you get the process right, the results will follow. So what'd you have? Bad beats or bad sides?
I had bad sides here. Very disappointing on my plus lines. And then with Tulane, if I had gotten on them a little earlier, that would have cashed. Just bad. I was just bad. The only thing I did well was totals. Other than that, it was just very bad. On Saturday, I lost with Ohio +4. I hit with Tulsa -6.5, lost with Washington -12.5, lost with Nebraska -4, Tulane +17.5, lost with Rutgers +19, lost with Western Michigan +16, Cincinnati +16.5, UTSA +25.5. If it wasn't for the totals, the UCLA San Diego State under 45.5 cashed easily, the USF Georgia Tech under 60 cashed easily, the UL Monroe, Florida State over 65 cashed easily. Arkansas State at +105 cashed easily. But it was rough day, and those sides were just wrong. What are those spots? Ohio, Washington, Nebraska, Tulane, Rutgers, Western Michigan, UTSA jumps out at you as being very bad.
Sure. So let's talk about it. Washington, that's just one of those things. That game was weird with the delay, and basically all the fans left. They were playing in an empty stadium after the delay, and that's one of those games where you're like, what I thought was going to happen didn't happen, but it was circumstances beyond my control because Washington came back and they had no energy after the break. I don't know if you stayed up late to watch that, but the Huskies, not that they had great energy to start, but the game itself never got going. And then once they had that long delay, every part of the handicap prior to that, you just have to go, well, the circumstances changed, which they did. So I wouldn't beat yourself up too much over that one. I wouldn't beat yourself up too much over the Nebraska. Nebraska was the right side. I'll give Colorado credit for making a whole bunch of big plays in the fourth quarter, but the Huskers were the better team. They just lost the game. And occasionally that can and will happen. And it sucks when that happens, but don't beat yourself up over that play. Nebraska was a lot better than Colorado. It just didn't work out that way in the scoreboard. The one that you can beat yourself up on, Jimmy, and I'm going to make you beat yourself up on it because last week we talked about losing games by a half point that you shouldn't be losing. And you had no business taking Tulane at 17.5 when there were 18s and 18.5s out there. And you lost one with Texas State the week before by a hook that you didn't need to lose, and you had no business losing that line. That's your bad betting choices in terms of how you bet it. We spend all this time handicapping, but we don't spend enough time on how you actually bet the game. So I got to rip you on that one because there were 18s out there, even at kickoff. You should have pushed it worse, and there were 18.5s out there all week long. So that's the one that stood out to me that you were like, ugh. Even though, again, you got the handicap right. Auburn didn't do a whole lot in that ball game. I was with you on Rutgers. That was a wrong side. I lost money on that game. That was my worst play on Saturday, unfortunately. And it was one that at least it was over. That first touchdown, when Iowa hit that first 58-yard touchdown, I'm like, we're in trouble. It wasn't like you're sitting there sweating at halftime. That game was over. Rutgers wasn't coming back. So those sometimes easier to handle when you're wrong than the ones that you're kind of half right, and then it doesn't work out for you. So and then I don't know what you saw in Utsa. I was looking at the Baylor side. I didn't take Baylor in that game because I remember when they played last year, and I really liked Baylor, and Utsa gave them everything they could handle. Texas San Antonio. I thought that Baylor might come with a little more focus this time around, and that one wasn't close. I'm not sure what you saw on the UTSA, and I forget your last one, but the bottom line is you got some back with the totals. You can't beat yourself up on that. You say, I had this terrible week. Then you're like, I had Arkansas State and I had all these right side totals. It's not just sides. It's how much money did you make at the end of the week? And it doesn't sound like it sounds like you had a bad Saturday, but not a brutal Saturday where you're getting beaten up by your man on a Monday morning.
It was tough because I started Saturday by hammering not hammering, but I had 125 on Argos first half, Argos full game in CFL. I feel like CFL is getting easier at this point of the year because we've been with all these there's so few teams in the league. We've been with them for so long, and the dogs just have so much value. So I guess that made me extremely upset when I started that day rolling with these two dogs and with these two dog spots, and then it was just a very irritating weekend. I had a very bad Friday night in MLB, so the whole thing is irritating. So let's just move that away and let's focus on how we can do things better right now. And let's start with some exciting stuff. But before I want to get into college football right now, I definitely do. But we do need to know: are you making moves on this baseball card one? And what are you doing for Monday Night Football?
So I did nothing on the MLB card today. The closest that I came was the Houston-Oakland over 9.5. I did not pull the trigger. That was the only one that really even made the short list. I was kind of thinking about the Red Sox. I didn't get there with Boston. I like your first half under in that. That makes a lot of sense to me. But Astros-A's over. And I talked myself out of it because Houston scored 21 runs yesterday. And sometimes when the runs are real easy one day, they're not the next. And B, there was another thing in that game that really stood. Oh, Greinke. Greinke's pitched well against the A's, and even though he's not in great form, Houston's bullpen behind him is. So I leaned over 9.5, but I did not get to the window with it. When it comes to the two Monday night football games for tonight, look, I ain't laying points. I'm not going to take Denver, and I'm not going to take New Orleans in this Monday night football match. The books got hit pretty hard yesterday. They were very, very happy, fortunate that that last Redskins touchdown came in, or it would have been as ugly a week one as the books have ever had here in Las Vegas. A lot of popular sides came through. The wise guy plays came through. The public plays pretty well came through as well. So when that happens, and then you have New England blowing them out on Monday Night Football, it makes me a little bit reluctant to lay points tonight. So it would be Texans or Raiders to me that stand out. And I mean, the Oakland play is really interesting. Oakland-Denver, where I haven't downgraded the Raiders because Antonio Brown isn't there, because Antonio Brown was never there. He wasn't there in the preseason. He wasn't there last year. So the markets have really downgraded Oakland right now because of Antonio Brown. I'm not convinced that the Raiders are worse without Antonio Brown, especially given the headaches and the distractions and the lock. That locker room is now us against the world, and that can be a good thing with a guy like Gruden. And I'll tell you this, Joe Flacco laying points with that guy on the road, no thank you. Just like what happened if you laid points on the road with Matthew Stafford yesterday. You can't lay points on the road with the mediocre QBs. And Flacco, I'm not even convinced he's mediocre.
I hear what you're saying. I think that Chubb is going to be possibly the defensive player of the year. I think the Broncos' edge rush is just so outstanding, and Flacco just has to be a game manager. I did pick the right time to jump on the Broncos. I got them as soon as they announced Antonio Brown would be in. As soon as they announced that he would be in, that's when I took the Broncos at -1 at -101. So I'm there, and I'm also on the under.
Good number, Jimmy. Good number.
Yeah, that was a good move, because I was under the exact same idea you had. Brown being in, that's going to help them. I'll believe it when I see it, even though it's a big Monday night game. So that was my move there. And then I'm on the Texans +7. I got the Texans +7. I like having the points. I'm big on Deshaun Watson, and I do like the Tunsil pickup very much. I think he'll have more time than he's ever had as a quarterback. And I'm a huge fan of Deshaun Watson. I think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback at some point in the not too distant future. And then I am on the over 52 in that game, Saints-Texans. I think there's going to be points. And those are my looks for this Monday. But let's go into let's roll into college football, and let's start with the big Friday night clash here: North Carolina, Wake Forest. So we don't have a total. Is that right? We don't have a total yet in this game.
Yeah,
is that
still early
facts?
on totals. Totals will come out. I mean, we have. Let me just look right now. There's one book in Vegas that posted totals.
Okay.
And they posted them right at the opener, but the markets themselves, the broader markets, have no totals yet. So I can give you the one book. What we have, the Circus Sportsbook in Vegas is a total of 65.5 on this ball game. But literally, they're the only one on my screen.
Yeah, I don't see a total here. And great work from Julian Yassin, who says Teddy covers. Is it a good number? I've been sitting on Broncos +3 since May. No, that's
well done. Exactly.
That's spectacular.
But again, there's so much of this that's all right. Well, little edges, or the whole concept of betting on sports for profit is little edges over time will produce profit. If you want action, knock yourself out. But if you actually want to make money with this, you're looking for as many bets as you can find with little edges. You're not going to find bets with huge edges. The markets don't work that way. But little edges over time add up. And when you have a +3 and the markets are -2.5, that's a nice edge. That's not even a little edge. That's at least a medium-sized edge. So that over time pays enormous dividends. Good number. Well done.
Yeah, great job, Julian. And with this Wake Forest spot, got to give a shout out to both Big Boss and Ragu, who were all over Wake Forest last week. First half, full game, and it was close, but cash and cash. Great work there. Let's talk North Carolina, Wake Forest. Wake Forest opening up at -3, now -3.5. That's -3 opener at BetOnline, now 3.5. Also, when they opened up at -3, it was -105. The +3 at North Carolina was -115, so a little more than just a half-point move. That's the first spot on this Friday card, although there are some interesting games on this Friday card. Let's start with North Carolina, Wake Forest. You have any leans early in the week?
So I'll just say this. I'm not a North Carolina believer yet. All right. 2 tight wins over quality foes at home. They escaped against South Carolina in a game where they were dogs both games. But the game against South Carolina where the quarterback got hurt, last week against Miami, where, there was a lot of things that went right for North Carolina in that ball game. Certainly like the way Sam Howell played in that contest. They ran the football effectively. And yet, I still continue to look at this Tar Heels team as something of an overachiever. Wake Forest, look, we've seen it a couple times now. This offense is dynamic. They're going to, and no question, North Carolina's defense is going to be better than the Rice one that they faced last week. But Demon Deacons have come out chucking the football around, playing this up-tempo offense. There was a lot of concern. They lost a lot in the offseason. That offense is every bit as good as it was. And North Carolina, off those 2 huge wins, I could only look at Wake minus in this ball game, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. We see a fair bit of Wake money between now and kickoff. I think the markets are going to be right there with me. You already said the early money's coming on Wake. I think we'll see more. The wise guys loved Wake last week against Rice. That line got bet up all the way through to kickoff till it was 20, and if you got it at the closing number, you pushed in that ball game. I continue to think that we'll see that level of support for Wake Forest this week. 4 different receivers with at least 5 catches and 50 yards. That's, a positive sign.
That is a positive sign. Wake did look good, and we saw the Rice defense hold its own against Army, so I know that they had trouble with the speed, the quick up-tempo offensive package that Wake Forest was delivering. I like that look. Wake Forest -3.5 early. Let's talk about these other 2 games here. We got Kansas-Boston College. Boston College now at 21.5. That's a lot for a Boston College squad that, is not that good. And then we have the 20th ranked Washington State opening up -7, now -8 at Houston. Do you have any feels early in the week on those 2 games on Friday?
I know this much. I'm not betting on Kansas. All right. And unfortunately, they lost to Coastal Carolina. I was hoping they would find a way to win that game. So maybe we get a little bit more value going against Kansas moving forward. And Coastal Carolina isn't garbage. They're not a real, true bottom. They were good enough to beat Kansas. Kansas is the garbage that we're talking about here. You say BC's not built to beat teams by 3 touchdowns. BC's going to hand the ball off. And until Kansas can figure out how to stop the run, BC, it might be built to beat that team by more than 3 touchdowns because, they're up by 2 touchdowns, they're going to hand it off. And if Kansas can't stop it, they'll be up by 3 touchdowns. And then if Kansas can't stop it, they'll be up by 4 touchdowns. So I don't trust the Jayhawks to do just about anything. And I'm not looking even for spots to bet the true bottom feeders of conference football. Kansas is certainly one of those teams. And Les Miles, the fact that he's there, has raised the power rating a little bit more perhaps than it should be. The other game on Friday night with Washington State and Houston, I've been impressed with the Cougs so far, and last year was Minshew coming out of nowhere. And, they don't have a quarterback. Well, yeah, they do. This year, they lost Minshew. What's going to happen to Washington State? It's a system there, and the system is functioning pretty well. And I don't know that Houston's going to be at their level just yet. So listen to me. I'm all chalky on Friday night. I like all 3 favorites. At first look, I'm going to dig deeper into the Washington State-Houston game for sure. This is all, when we're talking about Monday morning stuff, we're talking about all first gut reactions. If you want to get down, if you're like, all right, I want to get down here. I think I'm going to like this. Where's the market moving? So when the bets that I'm making on a Sunday night / Monday morning are all due to a first inclination and market movement. Because once you see if you have a first lean and the markets start to move, boom, You get a bet down, and then you decide what you're going to do with it later. If you want to hold it, you can hold it. Like I held the Colts plus 3.5 yesterday all summer. Like, oh, I got a great number with Indy, plus 3.5. And then it was plus, I could have laid 6 or 6.5 with the Chargers. I'm like, no. I'm just going to hold my Indy. And if, I don't want the reverse middle, the bad middle, where I can lose both sides of that game. So sometimes you hold it, and other times the decision is more, well, this line's moved 3 points. Your buddy who has was the Denver plus 3. Now he's got a choice. He can hold it, or he can come back the other way with Oakland and have a nice positive expectation middle working in his favor.
Yeah, that all makes sense on the Friday card at this point, and figuring out when to jump in. I know I thought about what I did wrong with college last week nonstop. Like I just couldn't get it out of my head. So making different moves and getting in earlier in the week in certain spots this week, but not necessarily on Monday. Let's start with Ohio State. Man, did they look good. Wow. Now in Indiana, opening at minus 13.5. It's already quickly moved to minus 15. Are you going to back the Buckeyes?
Well, let me start with this, Jimmy. And you talked about beating yourself up and you haven't stopped thinking about it and all of that. It's okay to beat yourself up off a bad day. You can't let it linger. You give yourself an hour to slap yourself around, and then and then you're, or whatever it is that you want to do to beat yourself up, and then you have to put it in the rearview mirror. You have to focus on the task at hand. If you go into the next week thinking about everything you did wrong last week, guess what? You're just going to have overreactions, and it's going to be one bad result leading to another bad result. You have to be like a cornerback in the NFL. No short-term memory whatsoever. You got burned last play. Guess what? This is the way I do things. This is how I've been trained. This is where my focus is. Next time, I'm going to knock that ball out of the receiver's hands. So it's okay to beat yourself up a little bit. You cannot let it linger. When you talk about Ohio State and Indiana, I don't know that I'm looking to step in front of the Buckeyes right now. From a power rating standpoint, Ohio State sure looks like a top 5 team. The question, they don't have Urban Meyer anymore. What's going to happen at quarterback? Those questions have been answered. And at first price, what's my power rating number on that game? My power rating number was way high on that game compared to the markets. Just let me look at it real quick. I had a 22 in that ball game, just to put it mildly. So at least a little bit of that money on Ohio State was mine. Now, I don't know that I'm betting Ohio State this week, but when my power rating number is that different from the markets, I'm expecting the money to go in that direction. The bet is on Ohio State. Maybe later in the week, I got 13.5. I wanted to get it before it got to 14. And that's something that I do every Sunday night, where that first move, and here's my numbers, and let's get down a handful of bets. But I don't know that I'm going to end up holding that bet. I may well come back with Indiana later in the week, but the first lean definitely towards the Buckeyes. I'm not surprised at all the markets have moved in that direction. And like Indiana's okay. They're a decent Big Ten team. They're all the talk is bowl. And yeah, they'll finish 7-5, 6-6, but their ability to step up in class against quality foes, a little bit dicey. And Ohio State's not a team I'm concerned about laying a price with on the road. They've been a bet-on team on the highway in recent seasons.
Well, let's keep rolling. Nice to get some quick takes, early takes on these games on this Monday. Let's go right to the next spot in that morning slate, Maryland, Temple. Maryland at Bet Online opened at minus 4.5. It's already minus 8. Let's see what Pinnacle opened Maryland at. Pinnacle opened Maryland at minus 6, and it's already minus 8. Too late to jump on Maryland here?
You don't want Maryland this week, guys. This is your handicapping 101, okay? You have a mediocre team, blowout win at home against a nobody, blowout win at home against a team that might be a notch or two overvalued, and now they're going to go on the road and face a physical, undervalued foe. That ain't a spot to be laying points with Maryland. You want to talk about like buy low, sell high? Are you buying low with Maryland this week? No. You're not buying low with Maryland this week. And that's your concept. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. And Maryland may kill them, all right? They might beat them by 100 points, and if they do, and Maryland is one of those teams that's going to be undervalued all year, we'll learn that this week. But I'm not convinced that's the case. I'm not convinced that the Terps are poised to be fully focused on Temple this week. And it's a one-way game for me. If I'm playing, I'm taking the points, and I'm in no rush to do so because I know how good Maryland's looked the last 2 weeks at home, blowing out teams. So we know where the market's going to go. No rush if you like the Temple side. That's my hot take for Maryland Temple. I don't want to lay the points there. Nuh-uh. That's not my definition of value.
Wow. And here we go from the chat. Shelldog says fade Maryland. Shelldog says, great call, Teddy. But Jay Peach says, wow, Maryland is going to crush this weekend. I guarantee they cover. Write it down. And that's exactly what I will do, is copy and paste all that right there. Let's move. Let's keep rolling. Keep rolling down to the ranked teams. We have Pittsburgh, Penn State. Took Penn a little while to start to put their foot on the throat of Buffalo. It wasn't immediate. And Pittsburgh looked good against Ohio. Now Penn State at home, opened at minus 17.5, now minus 17. What do you think of this spot, Pittsburgh, Penn State, Teddy?
So, and it's worth noting what happened after that real slow start for Penn State. They almost covered. Heck, they did cover if you bet them early. Another game that, landed between the opening and the closing number. If you bet Penn State late, oops. But if you bet that game properly, you won either side, whichever side you had in that contest. And Buffalo stinks. Right, Buffalo. Although they might not be as bad as I thought they were going to be. In terms of power rating droppers from one year to the next, from where Buffalo was last year to where Buffalo is this year, one of the biggest drops in my power rating numbers. But I do believe in Penn State, and that home field is worth something. You say Pitt played good against Ohio. Did they play that good against Ohio? I mean, they played okay. They didn't blow them out. Ohio was in the game. The offense didn't work. The offense didn't work week one, and this is a week where the offense better work. So I don't think I'm going to play the game, but from a talent, I don't know. I worry about the spot for the Nittany Lions. I think Pitt is going to come to play, but Penn State's not a team I'm going to rush to stand in front of right now. I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking for, we'll have a lot of time to break down this big game. Be a lot of running the ball, Pittsburgh, Penn State. Let's move on to, I guess we could talk about Arkansas State, Georgia. We don't need to spend too much time, but although Arkansas State looked very good against UNLV's terrible. Opened up Arkansas State plus 31.5, now plus 33.5 or plus 33 at, depending on where you shop. Any early edge here, Arkansas State, Georgia?
So who's Georgia got next? That's what I wanted to look at. You look that up, Jimmy, because I can look it up right here. Because like with any of these games where I'm like, are they laying 30-something or not? It's all about who's up next. Who's on the slate the next time around. And that's certainly something that stands out to me. Is the focus there? Are they looking ahead? When you have the big game the following week, if you're up by 4 touchdowns at halftime, sometimes you call off the dogs. So that definitely concerns me about the Georgia side of the equation. And the Arkansas, look, and I'm kicking myself for not really loading up on this. That was just a bad line, UNLV, Arkansas State. You see a handful of them. We saw one on the Ravens and the Dolphins yesterday. Even in the NFL, every once in a while, the betting markets won't adjust enough. And Arkansas State against UNLV, there was a class difference between those two teams. I don't think UNLV is worse than they were. They might be a little bit better than they've been over the last couple of years. But Arkansas State's better than that, and they showed it. But, of course, winning in Vegas and then winning at Georgia, two very different stories. I think the Red Wolves, obviously, I haven't seen anything on how they're going to play. The other, I talked about in these really big spread games, what I like to look for and not for. I'm looking for, is there a distraction for the favorite? I'm also looking at any coaches' quotes and coordinator quotes I can find from the underdog to say, hey, we're interested in this game, or we're going to rotate players in and out to make sure they don't get beat up against an SEC school. When you find that nuance from the coach speak for the underdog, sometimes it can end up with a real profitable wager. You get a team, all right, the favorite's not interested. Guess what? The dog's not interested either. So sometimes you can find some profitable situations to look for from the underdog just by finding those quotes that say, yeah, we're coming to play, or yeah, well, we want to get everyone a little chance to play an SEC opponent. Those types of quotes are very, very meaningful for games like this one.
Yeah, and it's Notre Dame on deck. And then Notre Dame is playing New Mexico, with this huge game on deck. Notre Dame up 34.5-point favorites. Let's just touch on these two games and then put a bow on this show. These are the games. I mean, there's a few very interesting games, but let's talk USC-BYU. USC opening up at -2.5, now -4.5, up to 5 at Heritage and Bovada and 5 Dimes going into BYU. Do you trust USC to go on the road and pull out a victory as a 5 or 4.5 point favorite, Teddy?
Hell no. USC got to face a backup quarterback and a team playing without their starting left tackle. And, the young QB, again, this wasn't their starter. He wasn't their second stringer. He wasn't their third stringer. He was the first non-4 or 5 star recruit to start a game at QB for USC this century. Now he's making his first road start against say what you want about BYU's offense. It's very pedestrian. All right. And pedestrian might even be giving him too much credit. But defensively, they're solid. Nobody's getting open against BYU. They've been able to stop the run. They've been able to keep the opponent's passing game contained against, Utah and Tennessee's not garbage. They've certainly been tested. Tennessee's garbage, but they're not complete garbage. But I do not trust USC this week. I don't trust the quarterback. And I'm spacing on his name right now. I apologize. It's Monday morning. But the young QB to have anywhere near the level of success he had last week. I'm not taking BYU. I'm not a BYU believer. I'll just put it that way. But I'm not a USC believer either. Bet against versus bet against.
Wow. Interesting. Very, very interesting look. And then Arizona State going into Michigan State. Michigan State opening at -10.5, now -13.5. Already 3-point move towards Michigan State. Does that move make sense?
I put Sparty in my pocket last night. My number came out much higher. My number on that game came out 17.5. So I think Michigan State, Michigan State lost there last year. All right. Sparty found their offenses. They had that sluggish opener. They found their offense this last week. And I'm not convinced Arizona State's any good at all. So I thought the price was cheap. I laid it last night. And again, if it gets to 14, I'm not going to do anything with it right now. I like Michigan State. And that's one I will probably hold. I don't see myself buying back. But if the steam gets ridiculous on that contest, I will buy back some of it or buy back half of it or whatever. But I think Michigan State, I believe that defense and I believe that offense. And I look at the Sparty, Sparty as being a potential bet on team moving forward. I think they're going to be a value-laden squad.
Interesting. Great look. Then getting it at 10.5, already moved 3 points. And let's put a bow on this with the big Clemson-Syracuse game. Clemson opening up at -24. They're now at -27.5. Syracuse looked awful last week. Hopefully, any Syracuse supporters will be saying they were looking ahead to this match. Already at 27.5 with Syracuse at home. What do you think here, Teddy?
So I got to tell you, I did not get the 10.5 on that game. I got an 11. But once the markets start to move, and I know boom, 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 I know I got to get that bet down now because my number is so far away from where the market is. So I didn't get the best of it. That's but I got better than you can find on Monday morning, and that's the goal for Sunday night. Is whatever bet you're getting, whatever bet you're making, you want to get something that will not be available on Monday morning, and that's what I was able to do. Geez, Clemson-Syracuse, the price isn't right, flat out, to back Clemson here. But there are issues for Syracuse, and there are issues now, on both sides of the football. The shutout over Liberty means a lot less after what we saw in the first half against Maryland this past week, and I do not like this kid DeVito at QB for the Orange. Although, again, they did give Clemson a battle last year, so, Clemson will be focused this time around. And you're not getting any bargains with Clemson, as we found out this past weekend. I laid with Clemson and on Saturday, I should say, 16.5. I thought I can't pass that. And there was the right side wrong result. They gave up the late touchdown, and the offense didn't roll. The offense got to roll if they're going to cover a number like this. We haven't seen the offense roll in either of the first two games. So I don't trust Syracuse. The price isn't right for Clemson. Probably a game I'm going to leave alone.
Interesting spot. Interesting spot. Eddie Oler says Clemson could put up 80. Jay Peach says he always said never ever lean Lions. And I was thinking about you when I lost with the Detroit Lions. Oh, man. And I thought I was in such great shape. So very, very disappointing.
You were
Shadow
in great shape.
Shadow says, does Teddy play many first halves? Do you?
No. I play much more games in first halves.
Much more full games?
And anytime you're shortening the amount of time that the wager is going to be taking place in, you're increasing the level of randomness. Over a full game, a block punt, you can overcome it. Over a half, it's that much harder. Those type of things. So it magnifies every mistake. And so I play some first halves, but only when there's a specific reason why I want them. Like if I'm going to play Georgia this week, maybe play Georgia first half, that sort of thing. When you see, all right, well, the team's going to call off his dogs at halftime. In baseball, you do it all the time when you're dealing with starting pitching. For football, I don't do it nearly as much. Occasionally, but not. It's not something that I'm peppering the board with first half wagers.
Understand. And finally, our guy Andrew asks, is Michigan a fade team here on out?
No, come on, guys. Here's the concept. All right. 1, Michigan wasn't looking to Army. 2, Army was looking to Michigan. 3, Army plays a difficult style. 4, Michigan is now the undervalued commodity coming out of that game with the win. They're not beaten up. They just survived and advanced. And your team, think about the NCAA tournament. Your team that gets out of the second round, and they were a number 1 seed and they barely escaped. They're minus, they were 12-point chalk and they won by 1. And then that's the value team the next time around. So, Michigan, after the sluggish start, to me, looks like a potential bet on team moving forward. I think the Wolverines might make their backer some money over the course of the next couple of weeks. I
love that. There are our first looks. Jay Peach says Harbaugh is a joke, period. Lanil Land says Detroit hit me too and Marshall didn't score enough. Yeah, I lost on that Marshall over as well. Baco Healy says buy low spot on Michigan. I agree with that breakdown. Looking forward to hammer this harder. DJ Big Boss says take Michigan. DJ Big Boss fresh off a 6-1 showing on plays given out on Friday. 6-1 showing.
Nice.
Yeah, big run for DJ Big Boss, winner of the Vegas Gun Award for excellence in capping. Teddy Covers, thank you so much for joining us on this Monday morning. We have a big week ahead of us, and I can't wait to be rocking this NCAA football card with you. Tell us, where can we find you on Twitter?
Real simple. Teddy_covers. Not hard to find. And I'm a decent follow, at least on the weekend. So check it out at Teddy_covers. Thanks, Jimmy. Good luck tonight, everybody. And of all the things I got to tell you, I have to tell you this. If you lost this weekend, don't chase on Monday Night Football. That's how bettors get ruined. All right? You're allowed to bet Monday Night Football. Don't triple your wager on Monday Night Football if you had a bad weekend. Bet more when you're seeing things clearly, not when you're getting roughed up. Thank you. Enjoy the games. Good luck.
There he is, Teddy Covers, joining us on this Monday morning. So there you have it. Some very interesting looks. And Teddy got in some real nice numbers early. I have made no moves on this NCAA football card at this point. Barry Block says, new offensive coordinator in Michigan, calling the plays, not Harbaugh. It shows a big difference. And Pink Eye Genie says, chase it, baby. He says, chase it. There we go. So for my MLB action, I'm on Braves-Phillies, first 5 under 5 and minus 120. I am on the first 5 under 5.5, minus 110, Yankees-Red Sox. Monday morning unders. Where's Russell Gordy to support these Monday morning unders? Pirates, Giants, first 5 under 4.5, minus 120. Oh, man, am I getting scared saying all these first fives. I'm on the Indians on the minus 1 line. I do have a lean towards the Cubs, but will be waiting to make that move on the Cubs. I do want to see this. I want to see a lineup that's ugly, and I want to get a little bit extra cash on that look. But that's my action. Drew Martin will be joining us. Drew Martin now. So the new schedule will be coming out this week. Drew Martin will be on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday late shows. Monday, Tuesday, Friday late shows live from Las Vegas. So Drew Martin will be joining us this evening. Thank you guys so much for all the goods, all the love in the chat. But most importantly, sending as much love to the Randall family. Gonna get home. We know you guys are gonna be home soon and stronger for this whole experience. It just just adds layers to you guys, and it's just going to make you stronger. Much love to all of you guys. Thank you for watching, but most importantly, look at Teddy B. Says, Jimmy, I told you Titans money line outright. Teddy B, you almost got Titans money line outright and Colts money line outright. Very impressive stuff from our guy Teddy B. But most importantly,
Leche, a los bookmakers.